Hello and welcome to the home of the Stargate Experience in Mount Shasta. We are here with Asil and our purpose today is to share with you this collaboration that's happening between the Stargate Experience and the work of Asil. So welcome Asil, great to have you here.
Thank you, Julieanne. Thank you, Prageet. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a delight. We've been experiencing these energies together over the last couple of days. And it's amazing the way that the energies that come through Asil and the energies that come through the Stargate and Julieanne and I really blend and amplify each other. And that's what we really want to share with you in a 2-day workshop that we're planning a little bit later.
Yeah, and so what Stargate's guide Alcazar has said about this is that these two streams of energy are coming together to create a torrent of consciousness. So we want to start by introducing each other so that the people who are following Stargate can get to know Asil and vice versa. So let's start with you, Asil.
Sure. Well,
It's always difficult, isn't it?
yeah, it's like
There's so much that can be said.
Yeah.
and I have recited this story for maybe like thousands of times. Here we go. Let me try a new version. Basically, a long time on the spiritual journey, coming from a traditional academic background and starting companies and running companies in the hamster wheel of societies and its creations. Always been curious about spirituality, followed many different traditions and lineages. And 5 years ago, a really tremendous spiritual experience where I experienced the guides the first time in their presence changed my life. And I wouldn't have known what it's going to take me to, but they said something which still sticks to my mind. They said, "You are ready now. We can finally work with you, but you will have to trust and you will have to agree in this relationship." And I thought, I don't know what I'm agreeing to, so I'll have to think about this. Can you guys give me a couple of months to think about it? And so the first one said, "My name is Emmanuel and I will be guiding you through this process." And I didn't even know who Emmanuel was. I don't have a religious background. And I didn't understand that there was an angel named Emmanuel. And when I realized, I thought, okay, I'm certainly going crazy because now I'm talking to angels. Well, a lot of it became history once I agreed, and the journey was powerful and intense. And they took me through many different initiations of my physical, my emotional, and my energetic body. And they said I will be serving like a conduit of their energy and transmissions. So they get me to a trance state in which I then embody Emmanuel, Raphael, sometimes Michael, but now mostly Elohim. And once they embody, they're able to speak but also transmit energy and do energy alignments. They don't call it healing, but they call it alignment. So alignment of the mental body, emotional body, of the physical body, as well as of the entire energetic spiritual complex. And it's been a journey since then.
How many years has that been?
Now, on this journey, about 5 years. 5
Yeah.
years. And it's going faster than I can hold on to.
That much we understand.
You guys understand that, right? It's like the moment you think you're getting used to this, it's like something new just opens up.
Exactly.
And like, wow, we did not experience this before.
Yeah.
It's been a blessed journey in many communities around the world that I've visited, a part of it in Europe as well as in the Middle East, similar to the way you guys have explored the globe for communities to connect with your work. It is in that way similar. So when I came across Stargate, it was like, I thought, wow, this is the first time I feel like the energy that is coming through them is very, very similar to the energy that's coming through my work. And it was the first time I felt a sense of companionship and as well as the possibility of a collaboration. That was the first time I was, yeah.
We had a similar feeling when we first came to one of your experiences. It was like, wow, this feels really great. And the level at which you work is very similar in a way to although very different to the way that the Stargate operates.
And I'll also say we're very impressed with your humanness also, because you welcomed us into your home right after we experienced your work for the first time and served us this beautiful tea from Syria and told us about the sacred site work you're doing. And it's clear to me that what you are bringing through is far more than just channeling. And I was wondering if you could explain that or speak to it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. When I first asked the channel, I call the connection the channel, and I asked them, it's like, so I'm gonna be a channel, like I'll be channeling, and they said, no, that's not quite the right word. You're a full body avatar.
Whoa.
And I was like, I don't even know what that means, but sure, just give me names, whatever you want to call me. And I started to understand later at the time what that meant. It means that my energetic body and my physical body is being augmented so that they can come through and deliver even stronger energies, transmitting from one spot to many. And so it's a preparation to deliver a transmission and frequency to thousands of people. And that is and that requires a lot of physical work. It requires a lot of internal alchemy to get to that place. And to your point, how is it different from channeling? Is I actually feel an entire embodiment. So I feel like they prepare my body, and then like my body, it gets unplugged, it just falls, and then suddenly it gets replugged with Elohim's consciousness, or it gets replugged with Raphael's consciousness. And then I am owned, so to say, for this period of time by Raphael, and he does what he needs to do, completely using my hand and my vocal cords.
And you speak a little in your book, Transmission, about what you are able to actually perceive as they're working. It's quite fascinating.
I keep on forgetting about that. It becomes so normalized, right? And I'm curious if you guys have that too. But when I'm in that space and I see the world from like Raphael's perspective, they start to work on individuals, and I see the outside body overlaid with the energetic body, and even further, like X-ray visions all the way to the bones.
Wow.
Sometimes even like all the way like the DNA strand and the lineage, the ancestry from where there's like epigenetics and things that come from the ancestry. So it's just like this multi-layered, complex view of you, the person in front of me.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It's totally amazing.
Yeah.
It's very different from the way we work.
It feels a bit like a computer game sometimes. Virtual reality, And I'm curious to hear how it is for you guys, because you work with thousands of people around the world at the same time, and they connect to their own Stargates at home, right?
Well, some of them do, but we actually work with the consciousness of the Stargate. Jules says, here's a smaller one. We're actually sat in front of one that's 10.5 feet high, but that's off camera. So this is a sacred geometrical structure that was actually given to me way back in 1989, which, by the way, was the same year that Julieanne was born. The geometry of this allows for a higher dimensional consciousness to anchor into the structure and to actually work with us energetically. Yeah, we work with thousands of people around the world, but the number of people is irrelevant because it's the same with you. We're working not in the physical realm, we're working in the quantum field. And in the quantum field, there's no time, no space. So when we're working energetically here, people all around the world feel the shifts of energy at exactly the same time. So it's a magic. Alcazar calls it the physics of the quantum field, which is very different from the physics of this reality. So no, people don't have to have their own Stargate, because it's possible just to invite the consciousness of the Stargate. So we may be working with tens of thousands of people, and we invite them to ask for an etheric Stargate, just to imagine it as if they're sat inside it or lying down inside it. And just their intention, just their asking, is all that's needed. The consciousness responds to them. And then as we work with our Stargate here, all the Stargates work in a similar way. But the magic of this, one of the things that fascinates me, is whether we just have a dozen people here or 1,500 people, the energy works with each person individually.
Yes.
And of course that's the same as that's the magic of working with these higher dimensional consciousnesses. Alcazar is the guide that comes through both Julieanne and myself. He gave me instructions of how to make the Stargate, and that was an interesting experience too, because he gave me a picture of it in my mind and asked me to build it. And I said, okay, just tell me all these lengths and angles. And he said, just build it. And I said, well, okay, and he said, just start and you'll remember. And that just felt very strange to me. But I went along to Home Depot and I bought a bunch of copper tubes. And the amazing thing was, I somehow knew how to do it.
Wow.
You described like moving the tubes and getting a buzz, and that's the angle.
Wow.
Yes, and how long do I make it? So I was holding a tube and moving my hand along, and then I got this buzz and I cut it there. So wow. The first one took about 6 months to make, and it's 10.5 feet high. And since then we've produced these smaller ones so that people can have them individually. And wow. It's been a journey, it really has, and Julieanne joined.
Yeah, so as per you mentioned, I was born in the same year that the Stargate was channeled by Prageet, and it wasn't until 2012, as I was finishing my university degree, that I met Prageet, had a Stargate experience, and my whole life changed. And for me, it was actually the very first moment I saw Prageet's face. I got this deja vu, like I was remembering the future. And it came with 3 feelings. 1, my whole life was about to change. 2, I was going to travel all over the world. And 3, it would be the greatest adventure I've ever been on. And I just smiled. I was like, okay, like I hadn't even experienced this yet. I was like, we'll see what happens. And slowly, my connection to this work was revealed. And what our guide has actually said is that Prageet and I have brought the Stargate and done the Stargate work together on other planetary systems. And so the function of the Stargate is actually to assist in the awakening process. It comes at the point in humanity, or in that planet's trajectory, when it's ready for the acceleration. And Alcazar said it will be exponential. So we're like right here where the curve's about to go like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, to kind of speak to your question, I think for us, because we're working with an interdimensional doorway that essentially has infinite potential, it has the ability to work with people at whatever level they're at. So our job might be a little easier than yours, maybe, I don't know. But it certainly is amazing to witness what can happen.
And the perhaps the most incredible thing is that Alcazar says there's nothing to do. Relax into the energy field. Just totally relax. And the magic is that if people relax and if they're ready, if they're available, change happens. And it happens on all levels. It happens on a physical level for some people, a mental, emotional level, and even trickles back into past life experiences on those rare occasions when it's needed. And just to hear people's experiences just keeps me going. The joy of hearing the changes that it makes in people's lives. And it's virtually effortless. People need to intend to change and then to be attentive to what's happening, both in the experiences and during their lives. And Alcazar is in a different way. When Alcazar first introduced himself, I could feel his energy coming in. So the first year or so, I'd have to kind of sit and open myself up, and I'd literally feel as if the energy is coming in. And then after a while, it's like he's there all the time.
Yeah.
It's like there's no waiting for him to come in. It's like instantly there, whenever. And in fact, sometimes he'll just pop in and talk to somebody without me even knowing that was about to happen. And that's very interesting. Yeah. So.
Amazing.
Yeah, so one of the other joys from me of doing the Stargate work is the emergent property of the energies that come through. And sometimes we're calling in guides like the angelic realm and the ascended masters and the star families, and people can actually feel them. But sometimes there are these other types of transmissions. Like, for example, the galactic command will bring in certain frequencies for a certain purpose, and it's just like, ooh, like a new energy to feel and witness. So it's quite amazing what can happen in my consciousness, for example, as I'm in these energy fields.
And the other beautiful thing is virtually everyone can feel the energy and respond. They feel it working with them in some way. And perhaps the biggest comment afterwards is, I feel so good, or so much joy, or a deeper experience of love. And of course the love energy is something which is really being brought through in many different ways right now, and so needed, especially as we're here in this environment of fear and panic around the world, which is shutting everyone down, creating the opposite kind of a movement.
Yeah, and maybe that's also one of the reasons why we have been talking for a while and somehow get this inspiration to collaborate. And I know that's a rare thing for me. I know it's a rare thing for you guys to collaborate on this level, because a lot of the work that individuals do, no matter how amazing it is, it's very unique to their own direction and their own mission. And sometimes it's more compatible and sometimes it's less compatible. It's just the nature of it. But for me to see that there is actually a potential for collaboration and compatibility, I was actually surprised about it.
Well, I think it's because we're both connected to the Elohim.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, they guide this whole Stargate process.
Yeah.
And coming through you as well. So it's like the family coming together.
That's right, that's right.
And so our intention is to create 2 days of this incredible merging of these two streams of energy, as Alcazar described it.
It's quite interesting because there's a bit of an element of mystery here. Alcazar has always said the Elohim oversee the Stargate work. And so on some level there is permission that's granted for new things to come through the Stargate. And oftentimes when that's going to happen, Alcazar will actually call them in to the workshop. So when you said in one of our Zoom calls that usually the Elohim step forth to guide the workshops, we were like, okay, something really cool is going to happen.
Right. And it's normally not been a public thing that Elohim would speak and present itself. It would be either in small groups or in like small workshops. And only recently they have declared they're ready to do the work through me in public, in general public, and to have that in part of the collaboration with you guys is very interesting, very mysterious, auspicious, and exciting. So what are we going to do in this workshop? Like a weekend full of channeling.
Yes.
Well, I'm feeling Alcazar wanting to speak, so I'll
yes.
see what he has to say. Beloved ones, we greet thee. 'Tis Alcazar. And it brings us also great pleasure to watch as these two energetics start to move together. That which will be created is beyond the multiplier effect. It can take you to another whole realm of experiencing. Not something that is easily described in your language, in your words. Something that can only be felt, experienced, allowed to flow over you and through you. That can raise your own consciousness into an experiencing of higher dimensional aspects of self, where you can taste far more than perhaps you have experienced to this time. And then there is a choice. Do you wish to incorporate these higher vibrations, these higher experiences in your daily life? Do you wish to bring them, invite them, allow this higher aspect of self to function more easily, more readily in your human life? That which we call your super consciousness, that which we would call the real you, the vastness that you are, wishes to incorporate even further into your humanness, to elevate your human experience. This is the invitation. This is the incredible potential that comes together as these two flows of energy will mix and merge, which will assist you in soaring into new experiences. And so we invite you to join us for this. And there is more that we have to say, but we will bring through the feminine energetic also through this one, Julieanne.
And so, beloved ones, relax. In this moment, can you open your sensitivity to feel what the beyond is wishing to bring to you? There is indeed a torrent of energy, light, consciousness that can emerge as these two streams from the beyond intersect. There is indeed an element of mystery here, but it is not a mystery that can be understood through your words, through your linear mind. This mystery must be entered into. This mystery must be embodied. It must be experienced, tasted, felt. The invitation, beloved ones, is to go beyond where your conscious awareness has been invited to experience before. It is to witness what happens for you as you bathe and bask in these torrents of light. And so we welcome you into a whole new level of the Earth Experience experiment.
Greetings, we are Elohim. It is indeed time for humanity to prepare itself for the ascension, the awakening of mankind, the evolution of consciousness, the self-realization journey of you, the individual, is the key of this time in human history. An important time of transformation and transmutation. An important time to evolve as individual and as a collective. Becoming ready for this change and transformation in this field, in this form of consciousness, in this current iteration of humanity. We bring together all initiatives approved and provided by Elohim, and so that the connection of all these initiatives can indeed impact humanity at the highest possible level. This work provided by these individuals that have devoted their lives to the mission of higher consciousness, support for humanity, is acknowledged, honored, and blessed. For you to receive this work, for you to be the one fully embracing the love of creation. Thank you.
It's difficult to describe what may happen in this weekend together. What I can say is what I've already experienced has been so powerful, so wonderful, delightful. And I know that it's just a small taste of what can build up over 2 whole days of energetic experiencing. And so we're here to invite you to tune in, to feel, is this something for you? Is this something that you feel you might benefit from? Because in these times where there is so much fear and panic, is it not time to bring in the love, the higher vibration? Is it not time for each one of us to stand in our own truth and in our own love, and to be supported by these very amazing, loving, high vibrational beings who are available to each one of us if we choose to open and receive. And the 3 of us here have been invited to be a vehicle for that energy. And once you connect with it, once you start receiving it, you feel that vibration And it's always available to you, every moment. So come, have a taste, and see.
So on a more practical level, if you would like to discover more about this collaboration, it's happening on August 22nd and 23rd. It's going to be a live streamed virtual workshop from 10 a.m. Pacific to 4 p.m. There will be a replay if you can't make it live. And you can visit our website at stargate.live/light to find out more and sign up.
Give us that again.
Stargate.live, LIVE/light.
And if you have any questions or having difficulty sign up, just email just support at the Stargate Experience.com.
So I'm so excited.
Yes.
We get to show up and just see what happens.
Very often that's the best way to do it. We're establishing the human containers and the logistical ways for you to experience this work, but then everything else is filled by divine and higher consciousness. And we are in for a surprise as much as you are.
So thank you all for being here with us. Thank you, Asil, for your openness and your willingness.
Thank you.
And thank you all the team that's both behind you guys and behind us, because there's so many people involved just to make this possible. So, hope to see you soon.
Thank you.